Let's learn English words. Being less than 0 in number.
Minus.
Minus. To keep something or someone within a limited area so it cannot escape.
Confine.
Confine. The act of getting or becoming bigger or more over time.
Accumulation.
Accumulation. A package or box wrapped in paper, a thing bigger than a letter that is sent in the mail.
Parcel.
Parcel. Dealing with problems in a reasonable, practical manner.
Pragmatic.
Pragmatic. Not complete, being only part of something.
Partial.
Partial. To do with finding out the cause of a problem.
Diagnostic.
Diagnostic. Be a name or symbol for.
Denote.
Denote. Spirit of a dead person, appearing to the living.
Ghost.
Ghost. To remove parts of a book, film or letter for moral, religious, or political reasons.
Censor.
Censor. Something useful or valuable, usually for sale.
Commodity.
Commodity. A long essay, a position taken in an argument supported by a set of reasons.
Thesis.
Thesis. A prefix meaning not.
Non.
Non. To do with breathing.
Respiratory.
Respiratory. In a formal manner, officially.
Formally.
Formally. A scheme to help someone who has been ill or in prison to return to a healthy, independent, and useful life.
Rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation. Knowledge gained from experience in life.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. The way something is used.
Usage.
Usage. Being sensitive in physiology. The ability of an organism or part of an organism to react to stimuli in electronics. The ability of a radio device to react to incoming signals.
Sensitivity.
Sensitivity. Referring to the 5 senses.
Sensory.
Sensory. The beginning.
Onset.
Onset. Difficult to do or deal with, something that needs skill.
Tricky.
Tricky. The quality or state of being human and being able to die.
Mortality.
Mortality. A brief intensive course for a small group emphasizes problem solving.
Workshop.
Workshop. In an accurate or correct manner.
Correctly.
Correctly. Concerning the sun, or its heat.
Solar.
Solar. Believing in modern ideas about social change.
Progressive.
Progressive. A feeling that is experienced by the body, usually through the sense of touch.
Sensation.
Sensation. A change in position of things so they become the opposite.
Inversion.
Inversion. Of a system where one country controls another.
Colonial.
Colonial. To speak while another person writes the words down.
Dictate.
Dictate. Amount of difference in distributions.
Variance.
Variance. Concerning how good something is, rather than quantity.
Qualitative.
Qualitative. Plan or design of something, for example of book page.
Layout.
Layout. Always active or changing in physics. A force related to motion.
Dynamic.
Dynamic. The amount you can see through something.
Transparency.
Transparency. The edge of something such as the decorative edge on a piece of clothing.
Fringe.
Fringe. The ability to locate oneself in your environment with reference to time, place, and people.
Orientation.
Orientation. Full of noise, loud.
Noisy.
Noisy. Extremely, hard to believe.
Incredibly.
Incredibly. To gather or acquire so that you have more of it.
Accumulate.
Accumulate. Two or more atoms chemically combined.
Molecule.
Molecule. An element, feature, or quality of something.
Aspect.
Aspect. A measure of how steep something is.
Gradient.
Gradient. Specific instance of something happening.
Occurrence.
Occurrence. Containing information, statements, or beliefs that do not agree with one another.
Contradictory.
Contradictory. Man who rules an empire.
Emperor.
Emperor. Descending from an ancestor.
Descendant.
Descendant. To join or bring together.
Unify.
Unify. Quickly, soon.
Shortly.
Shortly. A person who holds a particular office or position.
Incumbent.
Incumbent. Refers to more than one person or thing.
Plural.
Plural. A charged atom.
Ion.
Ion. To make something stable or consistent, with no major changes.
Stabilize.
Stabilize. A prefix meaning before.
Pre.
Pre. Supplying land with water using pipes.
Irrigation.
Irrigation. A wall, screen, or piece of glass used to separate one area from another.
Partition.
Partition. Being able to paint, write music, etc. Creative.
Artistic.
Artistic. The describing or measuring of quantity.
Quantitative.
Quantitative. Someone who has control over a country or area.
Ruler.
Ruler. Making a statement about a group from limited data.
Generalization.
Generalization. To prepare a book, journal, magazine and make it available.
Publish.
Publish. Cloth.
Fabric.
Fabric. An approximate time period.
Circa.
Circa. A machine or company that prepares something and makes it ready for use.
Processor.
Processor. A pipe that removes water, or other liquids.
Drain.
Drain. A large area of plants, usually in a hot climate.
Plantation.
Plantation. A word or action during a stage play to tell an actor to speak.
Cue.
Cue. The material that settles to the bottom of a liquid.
Sediment.
Sediment. The process that produces the next generation.
Reproduction.
Reproduction. The state of a female being able to produce young.
Fertility.
Fertility. To write something spoken.
Transcribe.
Transcribe. On the side moving sideways.
Lateral.
Lateral. An idea, a suggestion.
Proposition.
Proposition. The process of knowing and remembering.
Cognitive.
Cognitive. A device that sends out radio waves for finding out the position of another object.
Radar.
Radar. The smallest unit or amount of energy.
Quantum.
Quantum. The area ruled by a king or queen.
Realm.
Realm. A formal entry into an organization, position or office.
Initiation.
Initiation. A discrimination between things as different and distinct.
Differentiation.
Differentiation. The lines of light coming from an object.
Ray.
Ray. Better, higher quality.
Superior.
Superior. A slope or surface that rises uphill.
Incline.
Incline. A long, very thin, soft material used to join or make cloth.
Thread.
Thread. Someone whose job it is to watch or notice things.
Observer.
Observer. An outline, an imagined sequence of events in a plan or project.
Scenario.
Scenario. To broadcast by using electrical signals to a radio or TV.
Transmit.
Transmit. Extra information at the bottom of a page.
Footnote.
Footnote. A poison that kills weeds.
Herbicide.
Herbicide. To think that something is probably true.
Presume.
Presume. An amount of medicine to be taken at any one time.
Dose.
Dose. A device along a pipe that can either open and allow something to flow, or close and block it.
Valve.
Valve. Very hard to believe.
Incredible.
Incredible. Image expressing numerical data in lines or shapes.
Graph.
Graph. A line that separates a point of parting, a gap.
Separation.
Separation. To make something as small as possible.
Minimize.
Minimize. The act of taking responsibility for an error or mistake.
Admission.
Admission. The ability to recognize the difference between things, treating different groups of people unfairly.
Discrimination.
Discrimination. A state of balance.
Equilibrium.
Equilibrium. Concerning the environment, plants, or animals.
Ecological.
Ecological. A drawing made quickly that lacks detail.
Sketch.
Sketch. A reason or fact that explains why something happens or exists.
Justification.
Justification. To take in a liquid, soak up.
Absorb.
Absorb. To make something start working.
Activate.
Activate. Person who shows how something works, for example, product.
Demonstrator.
Demonstrator. A large group of people or things, a regular order or arrangement in maths. A series of figures.
Array.
Array. A way of speaking a language that is used only in a particular area or by a particular group.
Dialect.
Dialect. Mark showing a pause or list in a sentence.
Comma.
Comma. Action making something harder to do something.
Complication.
Complication. The very small creatures that sometimes cause disease in humans and animals.
Bacteria.
Bacteria. A game in which players answer questions on a specific topic.
Quiz.
Quiz. A device that receives information in physiology. A nerve ending that changes stimuli into impulses.
Receptor.
Receptor. To lose blood because of an injury.
Bleed.
Bleed. The green part of a tree or plant.
Leaf.
Leaf. Logical and well organized.
Coherent.
Coherent. Something bought for a lower price than expected.
Bargain.
Bargain. Being close or near to a border, wall, or point.
Adjacent.
Adjacent. The idea that all people have the same rights.
Equality.
Equality. To write again, to improve, or correct errors.
Rewrite.
Rewrite. The distance across the center of an object.
Diameter.
Diameter. 1/1000th of a meter.
Millimeter.
Millimeter. The result of breaking a hard material, a crack.
Fracture.
Fracture. Hard round red or green fruit with a white center.
Apple.
Apple. Means of communication.
Media.
Media. An opinion that you form based on information you already have.
Inference.
Inference. A medical operation in which a new organ is placed inside a patient's body.
Transplant.
Transplant. The distance between the opposite edges of a thing.
Thickness.
Thickness. One of the very large areas of land on Earth that are usually divided into several countries.
Continent.
Continent. Forward.
Onwards.
Onwards. Definitely or certainly.
Positively.
Positively. Concerning sound.
Phonological.
Phonological. A small ball of air inside of a liquid.
Bubble.
Bubble. A person who enters a contest.
Entrant.
Entrant. The act of discovering something or solving a crime.
Detection.
Detection. A disease of the liver that causes inflammation, yellow skin and a fever.
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis. A career or regular job.
Occupation.
Occupation. To rebuild something after it has been destroyed.
Reconstruct.
Reconstruct. Being important or well known.
Prominent.
Prominent. The action of making something move in a different direction.
Deflection.
Deflection. Part of something.
Integral.
Integral. About not exact but close.
Approximate.
Approximate. Having limits lasting for a limited time.
Finite.
Finite. Object made by humans, for example ancient tool.
Artifact.
Artifact. Person or creature from a planet other than Earth.
Alien.
Alien. The flat, thin body parts of a fish that sticks out and helps guide it through water.
Fin.
Fin. A tool used to measure things.
Gauge.
Gauge. Not stable, changeable.
Instability.
Instability. Fully qualified or capable of doing.
Competent.
Competent. Extra money for achieving/exceeding target.
Bonus.
Bonus. To agree or allow to do something.
Consent.
Consent. To apply a particular idea to a large group.
Generalize.
Generalize. Concerning how the body functions.
Physiological.
Physiological. To convert into an oxide combine with oxygen, to rust.
Oxidize.
Oxidize. The study of the mind and how it affects behavior.
Psychology.
Psychology. To distribute or set apart for a plan or purpose.
Allocate.
Allocate. To put something in something.
Insert.
Insert. Situation where things are not equal/fair.
Inequality.
Inequality. Something that is similar, but not an exact copy.
Approximation.
Approximation. A plant or animal that has become rock after many thousands of years.
Fossil.
Fossil. Being of an early time period in the past.
Primitive.
Primitive. A person working in a profession, such as medicine.
Practitioner.
Practitioner. To arrange in a random order.
Randomize.
Randomize. In connection with government matters.
Politically.
Politically. Actions that are illegal or morally questionable, often performed by a person in a position of power.
Corruption.
Corruption. A quantity that has both size and direction.
Vector.
Vector. By that means because of that.
Thereby.
Thereby. Needing the use of physical strength or work, a book of information or instructions.
Manual.
Manual. The main office of a company or organization.
Headquarter.
Headquarter. A reason for doing something.
Motive.
Motive. The upper part of the leg.
Hip.
Hip. Words that a person has said or written in a play, book or movie.
Quotation.
Quotation. A dry substance made up of very small pieces.
Powder.
Powder. Big size, largeness, heaviness.
Bulk.
Bulk. To be slowly broken down by natural processes.
Decay.
Decay. Beliefs or ideas about what is right and wrong.
Morality.
Morality. To enter a place with a name of taking control of it.
Invade.
Invade. A person who studies economics.
Economist.
Economist. The study of living things.
Biology.
Biology. A kind of grain that is used to make flour for bread.
Wheat.
Wheat. Act of bringing things together into a whole.
Integration.
Integration. Having the power to cause change, having influence.
Influential.
Influential. A music writer.
Composer.
Composer. A date or time before which something must be done.
Deadline.
Deadline. With no pattern or clear purpose, by chance.
Randomly.
Randomly. A thin covering of tissue.
Membrane.
Membrane. Basically, primarily.
Essentially.
Essentially. Living or growing naturally in an area, not brought from somewhere else.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. Likely to move from its position or fall.
Unstable.
Unstable. A way of speaking that shows your dialect or class.
Accent.
Accent. The act of saying that something is not true or very different.
Contradiction.
Contradiction. Very small blood vessels.
Capillary.
Capillary. A disease affecting many people.
Epidemic.
Epidemic. The soft parts of the body.
Flesh.
Flesh. Great energy, strength, or concentration.
Intensity.
Intensity. Containing acid.
Acidic.
Acidic. Being useful, a public service such as gas, water, or electricity that is used by everyone.
Utility.
Utility. Beat of the heart.
Pulse.
Pulse. A large organ in the body that helps to absorb food and clean the blood.
Liver.
Liver. The teaching schedule for a course in a school or university.
Syllabus.
Syllabus. The scientific study of genes, how living things develop between generations.
Genetics.
Genetics. At an unknown time in the future.
Sometime.
Sometime. A noise or something that stops you from continuing what you were doing.
Disturbance.
Disturbance. A round container with curved sides and flat ends.
Barrel.
Barrel. A judgment by a doctor about a person's illness.
Diagnosis.
Diagnosis. A type of American music known for its energetic beat and parts that musicians make up as they go along.
Jazz.
Jazz. The same in every way.
Identical.
Identical. a gas in the air that has no smell or taste, and that all animals need to breathe.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. To make the sound of a word or letter with your voice.
Pronounce.
Pronounce. Being awake.
Consciousness.
Consciousness. A large bird that gets its food by killing smaller birds and animals.
Hawk.
Hawk. A frame, stand or hook on which things are set or hung.
Rack.
Rack. An unreasonable hatred for a group of people, usually a race or a religion.
Prejudice.
Prejudice. A path or way that you can walk.
Pathway.
Pathway. Going back in statistics. A type of correlational procedure that focuses on predicting the values of an outcome based on its correlation with another variable.
Regression.
Regression. To think of, or create, something new.
Conceive.
Conceive. A little wet.
Damp.
Damp. Belonging to language.
Linguistic.
Linguistic. In name or thought but not reality.
Nominal.
Nominal. Without an end.
Infinite.
Infinite. Reason for not supporting or agreeing with a plan.
Objection.
Objection. Blank book in which you write what you did each day.
Diary.
Diary. With reference to some source of heat.
Thermal.
Thermal. The end of something.
Terminal.
Terminal. Something that is plaited or twisted as a rope-like length.
Strand.
Strand. A period of time during which important, significant changes take place.
Watershed.
Watershed. A 3D shape with a circular base, a part of the eye.
Cone.
Cone. Caused or controlled, or by genes.
Genetically.
Genetically. The transmission of heat, electricity or sound.
Conduction.
Conduction. Moving toward a higher point or position.
Upward.
Upward. Something that deserves laughter, is foolish or funny.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. To press a computer mouse to do something on a computer.
Click.
Click. Causing or feeling physical pain or hurt.
Painful.
Painful. Being exactly right, correctness.
Accuracy.
Accuracy. The breadth, width or largeness of something.
Amplitude.
Amplitude. To increase, or become as large or great as possible.
Maximize.
Maximize. To disagree, to say the opposite is true.
Contradict.
Contradict. Stretch tight and stiff.
Tense.
Tense. Work that a student is given to do at home.
Homework.
Homework. Putting similar items into groups or sets.
Classification.
Classification. Basic or made without skill, such as a crude drawing.
Crude.
Crude. Someone who delivers a messages.
Messenger.
Messenger. In an exact and particular manner.
Technically.
Technically. A small animal with 6 legs, such as a bee or ant.
Insect.
Insect. A part of a whole.
Fraction.
Fraction. A metal holder used for keeping things together.
Clip.
Clip. To make something higher.
Elevate.
Elevate. A shape or outline, a method of arrangement.
Configuration.
Configuration. Concerning a fetus, an unborn baby.
Fetal.
Fetal. The time between birth and death.
Lifetime.
Lifetime. Strongest.
Dominant.
Dominant. Depending.
Conditional.
Conditional. Having personal qualities that people admire.
Noble.
Noble. A system of management, a form of government.
Regime.
Regime. The rate that something happens.
Incidents.
Incidents. A liquid that colors hair or cloth.
Dye.
Dye. General term for things that are bought or sold.
Goods.
Goods. Left over after part or most is taken away.
Residue.
Residue. Sour substance that reacts with metals, for example lemon.
Acid.
Acid. Needing great effort for a short period of time.
Intensive.
Intensive. Not deep, a small distance between the lowest and highest point.
Shallow.
Shallow. A problem that requires thought and skill to be solved.
Puzzled.
Puzzle. To grip something firmly with the hands.
Grasp.
Grasp. A saying that seems contrary to popular belief, but which may be true.
Paradox.
Paradox. In a quick and easy manner.
Readily.
Readily. A person from your family that lived in the past.
Ancestor.
Ancestor. To make into something at an industrial level.
Industrialize.
Industrialize. Concerning, or provided by, a parent.
Parental.
Parental. A detailed description of the design and materials used to make something.
Specification.
Specification. A piece of information that helps explain a situation or provide a solution to a problem.
Clue.
Clue. Metric unit for measuring liquid or gas.
Liter.
Liter. To control something or someone.
Manipulate.
Manipulate. Very bad, unpleasant, or offensive.
Nasty.
Nasty. A good quality.
Virtue.
Virtue. To cut violently.
Slash.
Slash. Control center of a cell.
Nucleus.
Nucleus. Heavy, sticky earth used to make pottery.
Clay.
Clay. A system for organizing people or things according to their importance.
Hierarchy.
Hierarchy. Without something that is necessary.
Deficiency.
Deficiency. Concerning vision or helping people see.
Optical.
Optical. Concerning sound.
Audio.
Audio. In an important way.
Importantly.
Importantly. Money given to a student to pay for education.
Scholarship.
Scholarship. Important people of high status.
Elite.
Elite. Showing intelligence quick to understand or learn.
Clever.
Clever. A lack of enthusiasm or interest in things, seeming not to care.
Indifference.
Indifference. To make water or liquid fly in very small drops.
Spray.
Spray. Talk, conversation.
Discourse.
Discourse. Something that dissolves or can melt another substance.
Solvent.
Solvent. Easy to do or understand, not complicated.
Straightforward.
Straightforward. A prefix meaning across, through, or changing thoroughly.
Trans.
Trans. A statement of what will happen next.
Prediction.
Prediction. Judgment, opinion, guess at the value of.
Estimation.
Estimation. Very thick and difficult to see/get through.
Dense.
Dense. A constant e raised to a power equal to a given expression. For example, x is the exponential of 3x.
Exponential.
Exponential. The power to make independent decisions.
Autonomy.
Autonomy. The chance that something might happen.
Likelihood.
Likelihood. A substance naturally formed in the ground.
Mineral.
Mineral. The holy books of a particular religion.
Scripture.
Scripture. Cell structures that carry the genetic material that is copied and passed to the next generation.
Chromosome.
Chromosome. In a careful, considered manner.
Deliberately.
Deliberately. The act of taking the place of something or someone else.
Displacement.
Displacement. People in positions of power, able to decide things.
Authority.
Authority. A person who looks after machinery.
Mechanic.
Mechanic. Living thing, often one that is small.
Organism.
Organism. A 3D spiral shape.
Helix.
Helix. A person or thing acting or serving in place of another, to put in the place of another.
Substitution.
Substitution. Not official, not done by the rules.
Informal.
Informal. Process of developing over time.
Progression.
Progression. Specific words and expressions used in a particular field.
Terminology.
Terminology. Being reasonable and sound.
Legitimate.
Legitimate. To make an exact copy of a living thing.
Clone.
Clone. Expressing a difference in degree.
Comparative.
Comparative. To bring about an agreement between persons or groups, act as a helper.
Mediate.
Mediate. Having importance, showing someone's intention.
Meaningful.
Meaningful. Male sex cell.
Sperm.
Sperm. To use something practically for a particular purpose.
Utilize.
Utilize. Being similar in some way.
Comparable.
Comparable. A speech sound A, E, I, O, U and sometimes Y.
Vowel.
Vowel. Fit and strong, physically capable.
Athletic.
Athletic. One of the little tubes that return blood from the body to the heart.
Vein.
Vein. A person who studies ideas about things such as the meaning of life and truth.
Philosopher.
Philosopher. A small area, specialized business, job or activity.
Niche.
Niche. About or caused by molecules.
Molecular.
Molecular. To change something in order to make everything the same or make everything agree.
Standardize.
Standardize. About the nerves or nervous system.
Neural.
Neural. Relying on someone for support.
Dependence.
Dependence. Something that happens on its own, seemingly without cause.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Being able to think clearly.
Rationality.
Rationality. A small electronic device used for calculation.
Calculator.
Calculator. Concerning philosophy.
Philosophical.
Philosophical. International spread of something, for example company.
Globalization.
Globalization. Performed as part of a formal ceremony.
Ritual.
Ritual. The special knowledge that an expert has.
Expertise.
Expertise. A thick, flat slice of something.
Slab.
Slab. The most important part or quality of something.
Essence.
Essence. The act of putting something new in the place of something that is old, broken or missing.
Replacement.
Replacement. To make an action or process easier.
Facilitate.
Facilitate. Comparison of things based on their similarity.
Analogy.
Analogy. Poisonous, harmful.
Toxic.
Toxic. Rain, snow or hail.
Precipitation.
Precipitation. The degree to which people or things are the same.
Similarity.
Similarity. Present in a person or animal from the time of birth.
Innate.
Innate. Something done in a customary or traditional manner.
Traditionally.
Traditionally. Difference, diversity.
Differential.
Differential. Not important, not related to the topic.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Can be mixed with a liquid, for example salt is soluble in water.
Soluble.
Soluble. Bringing about, or causing.
Induction.
Induction. A material that can easily flow. For example, water.
Fluid.
Fluid. Hot and humid near to the equator.
Tropical.
Tropical. The natural way a person or animal thinks or behaves, knowledge that is not learned.
Instinct.
Instinct. A handle that one pulls to operate a machine.
Lever.
Lever. A decision that is shared by most of the members of a group.
Consensus.
Consensus. Doing a lot of work and achieving a lot.
Productive.
Productive. A prefix meaning out of, from, or not.
X.
X. Very small on the edge, not important.
Marginal.
Marginal. A pattern of sound and beats in music.
Rhythm.
Rhythm. An in-depth paper submitted for a doctorate degree.
Dissertation.
Dissertation. The chemical processes of the body in which food is converted to energy.
Metabolism.
Metabolism. Having no impact.
Null.
Null. A single-celled fungi used to make bread and beer.
Yeast.
Yeast. An exchange in business. This usually involves money.
Transaction.
Transaction. To melt into a liquid so that a substance mixes with the liquid itself.
Dissolve.
Dissolve. A substance that combines to form the structure of proteins.
Amino.
Amino. A metric unit of weight.
Gram.
Gram. An entry into a place for the purpose of taking control.
Invasion.
Invasion. Strong, very serious or severe.
Acute.
Acute. Leg, arm or wing.
Limb.
Limb. Photographs or pictures in a printed publication.
Artwork.
Artwork. Representing a larger quality.
Symbolic.
Symbolic. Going from the top to the bottom of something.
Longitudinal.
Longitudinal. In a general manner.
Broadly.
Broadly. The ability to move.
Mobility.
Mobility. Standard used to make judgments or decisions.
Criteria.
Criteria. Process of creating and developing many businesses.
Industrialization.
Industrialization. To move or turn around a central point.
Rotate.
Rotate. To make more complex or refined.
Sophisticate.
Sophisticate. Not made by people, not created by nature.
Artificial.
Artificial. To make it difficult for a process to start or continue in a normal way.
Inhibit.
Inhibit. Separate, composed of distinct parts.
Discrete.
Discrete. A small change to a machine, system, or plan.
Modification.
Modification. As some people believe.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. A large stretch of land.
Tract.
Tract. Moving violently and unevenly.
Turbulent.
turbulent, odd or strange,
Bizarre.
bizarre, to place or set inside rock, etc.
Embed.
Embed, packed together, closely united, small,
Compact.
compact. A medical doctor,
Physician.
physician. The sound made by clapping a performance or speech.
Applause.
Applause. The act of controlling something or someone.
Manipulation.
Manipulation. The specific area of your field.
Specialty.
Specialty. About statistics.
Statistical.
Statistical. Not in a line.
Nonlinear.
Nonlinear. A person who asks questions to obtain information.
Interviewer.
Interviewer. Complete control of the market for a service or product.
Monopoly.
Monopoly. In a basic and important way.
Fundamentally.
Fundamentally. Unusual, remarkable.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. A unit of speech.
Syllable.
Syllable. A very small part of an atom that has a positive electrical charge.
Proton.
Proton. Something needed to complete or make perfect.
Complement.
Complement. A shared boundary between two persons or systems through which information is communicated.
Interface.
Interface. Concerning the area around where you are.
Locally.
Locally. The smallest possible.
Minimal.
Minimal. The child of a person or the young of a plant or animal.
Offspring.
Offspring. To mix, to reduce in strength, concentration, quality or purity.
Dilute.
Dilute. Throughout history.
Historically.
Historically. Exactly and without any mistakes, correctly.
Accurately.
Accurately. Ideas or beliefs which form theory and policy.
Ideology.
Ideology. Metal object fired from a gun.
Bullet.
Bullet. To make things separate and go in different directions.
Scatter.
Scatter. The movement of blood through the body.
Circulation.
Circulation. Sensible, reasonable.
Logical.
Logical. A condition that limits a person's ability to do something.
Disability.
Disability. To make someone do something by strong persuasion or force.
Constrain.
Constrain. A substance that is healthy for your body and can be found in foods or taken as a medicine.
Vitamin.
Vitamin. Having the properties of a magnet, being able to attract.
Magnetic.
Magnetic. A long metal weapon with a sharp point and edge.
Sword.
Sword. Easily reacting to responsive.
Reactive.
Reactive. To trade or exchange.
Swap.
Swap. A weapon, usually thrown, shot or launched.
Missile.
Missile. Having great size, excellence, or power.
Tremendous.
Tremendous. A heavy, silver-white metal that is used in thermometers to measure temperature of planet.
Mercury.
Mercury. A machine that flies through the air.
Airplane.
Airplane. A long, strong material, thicker than string but not as thick as rope and electrical wire.
Cord.
Cord. To act in agreement with another's wishes, to obey a rule.
Comply.
Comply. At the same time as.
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously. How much is spent on things? The process of eating and drinking.
Consumption.
Consumption. To repeat something, such as an experiment, study or process.
Replicate.
Replicate. A small animal with dark fur that lives under the ground. A unit for measuring molecules.
Mole.
Mole. Large wind instrument similar to a piano.
Organ.
Organ. Grammatical.
Syntactic.
Syntactic. A collection of skills or accomplishments.
Repertoire.
Repertoire. To make someone believe something that is not true.
Deceive.
Deceive. Country or settlement controlled by another country.
Colony.
Colony. Communication by letters, emails or text messages.
Correspondence.
Correspondence. Time when you have no work to do and can relax.
Leisure.
Leisure. A defense provided by the body against disease.
Antibody.
Antibody. An animal related to humans, which lives in trees.
Monkey.
Monkey. Being unchangeable or unmovable.
Static.
Static. The management of land and water in ways that stop it from being damaged.
Conservation.
Conservation. To increase greatly in number.
Multiply.
Multiply. Concerning medicine that is used to fight certain diseases.
Antibiotic.
Antibiotic. A middle point between two extremes.
Halfway.
Halfway. To look, feel, or behave like something. To copy.
Simulate.
Simulate. Concerning the way people act.
Behavioral.
Behavioral. Happening or existing in many places, affecting many people.
Widespread.
Widespread. Not famous, unknown by most people, not easy to understand.
Obscure.
Obscure. For no other reason only and completely.
Purely.
Purely. A response to a message, information about a person's behavior.
Feedback.
Feedback. A soft, fatty tissue inside bones.
Marrow.
Marrow. The short, thick finger on the side of your hand.
Thumb.
Thumb. Organizing people or things to make them work together effectively.
Coordination.
Coordination. To express something clearly using language.
Articulate.
Articulate. Made of lines.
Linear.
Linear. Located above your head or in the sky.
Overhead.
Overhead. To cause, to persuade.
Induce.
Induce. A soft, white chemical element.
Sodium.
Sodium. That is to say, specifically.
Namely.
Namely. The place one is traveling to.
Destination.
Destination. To act in dishonest manner to gain an advantage.
Cheat.
Cheat. A colorless chemical element without a smell that forms most of the Earth's atmosphere.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen. To keep safe.
Conserve.
Conserve. To state or declare your ideas positively strongly.
Assert.
Assert. Includes numbers.
Numerical.
Numerical. In a way that is larger, greater or has more power than others.
Predominantly.
Predominantly. A common, soft, silvery white metal that is usually used for farming or industrial purposes.
Potassium.
Potassium. A state of flow and change.
Flux.
Flux. The process whereby nerves can retard or prevent the functioning of an organ, the act of blocking or holding back.
Inhibition.
Inhibition. Concerning factors or factorials.
Factorial.
Factorial. That cannot be understood.
Unintelligible.
Unintelligible. To an extreme degree, badly vary.
Terribly.
Terribly. An action that is answered by a reaction, verbal or physical.
Interact.
Interact. The study of a system, such as the system of words in a sentence.
Syntax.
Syntax. Plain, clear.
Evident.
Evident. The act or process of cutting something.
Dissection.
Dissection. Being empty, not filled out, with no writing on it.
Blank.
Blank. Thing that differs from something of the same kind.
Variant.
Variant. A long piece of metal or wood, a line of light or energy.
Beam.
Beam. The process by which people or animals move to another place.
Migration.
Migration. Object used for hitting a ball in various games.
Bat.
Bat. Group of related courses in a school or college.
Curriculum.
Curriculum. Meeting where people can openly discuss a subject.
Forum.
Forum. Not as good as something else.
Inferior.
Inferior. Not with another person or thing.
Separately.
Separately. Half a year in school or college.
Semester.
Semester. A country governed by elected representatives.
Republic.
Republic. To start.
Initiate.
Initiate. A game of strategy, for two players.
Chess.
Chess. Speed in a given direction.
Velocity.
Velocity. Typically, Normally, not unusually.
Commonly.
Commonly. At the middle point.
Mid.
Mid. A group of machine parts forming a tool or a machine.
Assembly.
Assembly. 1.
Singular.
Singular. Being present and able to be used.
Availability.
Availability. Formal, to release or send out.
Emit.
Emit. A quality that makes someone or something dependable and deserving of trust.
Reliability.
Reliability. On or around something.
Outer.
Outer. The amount of time something lasts.
Span.
Span. A sudden desire to do something that is not planned.
Impulse.
Impulse. Something written.
Transcription.
Transcription. Extra, more than is needed.
Surplus.
Surplus. A label, something that describes.
Descriptor.
Descriptor. The act of punishing someone.
Punishment.
Punishment. A given area or a range around a certain point, a line from the center of a circle to its edge.
Radius.
Radius. Machines in general.
Machinery.
Machinery. A book that covers the basics of a subject, a kind of paint.
Primer.
Primer. A substance released into the air.
Emission.
Emission. Cows or bulls on a farm.
Cattle.
Cattle. The process of emerging/coming out.
Emergence.
Emergence. Explanation or discussion of a written work/event.
Commentary.
Commentary. Being without a job, jobless.
Unemployed.
Unemployed. A small class at a college or university.
Seminar.
Seminar. The different meanings of words.
Semantic.
Semantic. Not wearing any clothes without covering.
Naked.
Naked. A measure of the relationship between two variables.
Correlation.
Correlation. The natural place, or type of place, where a plant or animal lives.
Habitat.
Habitat. To be given or to earn something through efforts.
Obtain.
Obtain. A protein made by cells.
Enzyme.
Enzyme. To see or show a difference between things.
Differentiate.
Differentiate. Very different from each other.
Diverse.
Diverse. Having parts that extend in a number of directions.
Dimensional.
Dimensional. Speed or force that is gained when something moves.
Momentum.
Momentum. A person who forms new ideas.
Theorist.
Theorist. Small animal with beard and horns.
Goat.
Goat. Toward what is behind you.
Backward.
Backward. A chemical, food, that animals and plants need to live, develop, and be healthy.
Nutrient.
Nutrient. To increase the speed or rate of something.
Accelerate.
Accelerate. Involving many countries.
Multinational.
Multinational. The act or process of making sure that rules are followed.
Enforcement.
Enforcement. Having the ability to judge something reasonably.
Sensible.
Sensible. A closed shape with 3 straight sides.
Triangle.
Triangle. The line where the earth or sea meets the sky.
Horizon.
Horizon. The ability to stretch easily and then quickly return to the original shape.
Elasticity.
Elasticity. In a manner being free from the control of another.
Independently.
Independently. A mechanical creature that acts like a human.
Robot.
Robot. Something that has developed or been obtained from something else.
Derivative.
Derivative. Not affected by something, such as a disease.
Immune.
Immune. An electrical connector to fill or close tightly so liquid or air cannot pass.
Plug.
Plug. A vehicle that carries passengers or items between 2 places.
Shuttle.
Shuttle. An image on a screen.
Projection.
Projection. Yellow liquid waste from the body.
Urine.
Urine. Energy that is radiated or transmitted in the form of rays, waves or particles.
Radiation.
Radiation. A set of rules computers use protocols so they can exchange information.
Protocol.
Protocol. Local medical center department of a hospital.
Clinic.
Clinic. Done in a thorough, logical or planned way.
Systematic.
Systematic. A long rolled piece of paper with writing on it to move up and down a computer screen.
Scroll.
Scroll. To get involved in the business of others without invitation.
Interfere.
Interfere. A complete change in shape or form of something.
Transformation.
Transformation. A negative point, a downside, difficulty.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. About space.
Spatial.
Spatial. A symbol to give direction, a long piece of wood shot from a bow.
Arrow.
Arrow. Flat or level.
Horizontal.
Horizontal. Active including person/thing that is included.
Inclusion.
Inclusion. A person of low social status, usually who works on a farm.
Peasant.
Peasant. To treat someone without respect, to reduce in amount or strength.
Degrade.
Degrade. The distance between 2 points, numbers or times.
Interval.
Interval. Physically, as when lifting someone.
Bodily.
Bodily. The science of how diseases spread.
Epidemiology.
Epidemiology. To make someone feel happier or more hopeful.
Uplift.
Uplift. A set of written signs or shapes that are used in music or mathematics.
Notation.
Notation. A teacher.
Tutor.
Tutor. Continued existence fact of not stopping.
Continuity.
Continuity. Having two parts using only two numbers, 1 and 0.
Binary.
Binary. An arrangement of values showing frequency of occurrence. The way in which the fuel-air mixture is supplied to each cylinder of an engine. Delivery of products or services.
Distribution.
Distribution. Nourishment, good food value.
Goodness.
Goodness. Concerning the art of making images with cameras.
Photographic.
Photographic. To give someone a disease.
Infect.
Infect. Characterized by concepts or the forming of concepts.
Conceptual.
Conceptual. Device to control nuclear energy as a power source.
Reactor.
Reactor. The ratio of the circumference to the diameter of a circle approximately equal to 3.14.
Pi.
Pi. A solid formed by the solidification of a chemical.
Crystal.
Crystal. A college student who is working toward his or her first degree.
Undergraduate.
Undergraduate. Sensible based on facts.
Rational.
Rational. To lie over or cover a part of something else.
Overlap.
Overlap. Short for technology or technician.
Tech.
Tech. The study of the structure of substances.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. To take away, for example 20 to 5 equals 15.
Subtract.
Subtract. To rotate or turn something over.
Flip.
Flip. Without being controlled.
Freely.
Freely. The movement of light in many directions.
Diffusion.
Diffusion. To cause to happen.
Precipitate.
Precipitate. An organ used to breathe.
Lung.
Lung. The length of time that something lasts.
Duration.
Duration. The outer part of an organ or structure.
Cortex.
Cortex. An image that seems real, but is not real.
Illusion.
Illusion. Water falling from the sky.
Rainfall.
Rainfall. A body in linguistics. A body of words.
Corpus.
Corpus. A lake, usually artificial, where water is collected and stored for the use of a community or industry.
Reservoir.
Reservoir. To excuse.
Pardon.
Pardon. Economic system based on private ownership of money.
Capitalism.
Capitalism. Happening or coming at the end of process, final.
Ultimate.
Ultimate. Act of connecting two pieces of rope or wire into one.
Splice.
Splice. Very large building with a sports field and rows of seats all around that is used for various events.
Stadium.
Stadium. The study of plants, animals, people, and their environments.
Ecology.
Ecology. The study of form and structure.
Morphological.
Morphological. Having to do with being a mother.
Maternal.
Maternal. To find and get something from somewhere.
Retrieve.
Retrieve. An established standard of performance or behavior.
Norm.
Norm. A large shopping center with many individual stores.
Mall.
Mall. A level or point at which something would start or stop happening.
Threshold.
Threshold. The quality of being able to be bent or stretched.
Flexibility.
Flexibility. To a degree great enough to do something.
Sufficiently.
Sufficiently. To use something or someone selfishly or unethically.
Exploit.
Exploit. Best.
Optimal.
Optimal. A set of ideas that are used for understanding or explaining something.
Paradigm.
Paradigm. Person paying for professional services.
Client.
Client. System of practices or techniques to show how to do tasks.
Methodology.
Methodology. Having a path that is not straight or direct.
Indirect.
Indirect. Ability to understand.
Comprehension.
Comprehension. A book with the spellings and meanings of many words.
Dictionary.
Dictionary. When normal activity or behavior stops.
Breakdown.
Breakdown. One believing in private ownership of money.
Capitalist.
Capitalist. Rate at which something is made or that people work.
Productivity.
Productivity. To study something so that you remember it.
Memorize.
Memorize. Formed by working together as a group.
Collective.
Collective. A characteristic or constant factor, a limit.
Parameter.
Parameter. Formal an order from an authority.
Directive.
Directive. The moral principles, standards, and rules for deciding what is right and wrong.
Ethics.
Ethics. Concerning or caused by bacteria.
Bacterial.
Bacterial. To turn something upside down.
Invert.
Invert. To remove written information or information on a computer memory.
Erase.
Erase. A distinctive form, shape or figure in a design.
Motif.
Motif. The height of a place.
Elevation.
Elevation. A list of the financial assets held by an individual or other financial institution.
Portfolio.
Portfolio. Not connected to the main or important part of something.
Peripheral.
Peripheral. The act of sliding two objects against each other.
Friction.
Friction. Aware of what is going on around you, not knocked out.
Conscious.
Conscious. A container that sprays liquid under pressure.
Aerosol.
Aerosol. A part of something.
Facet.
Facet. To be similar to someone or something in looks or manner.
Resemble.
Resemble. Unimportant.
Trivial.
Trivial. Concerning the sense of artistic beauty.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic. Talkative, cooperative in giving information.
Communicative.
Communicative. To loudly blow air out of your nose or mouth in a sudden, uncontrolled way.
Sneeze.
Sneeze. A prefix meaning recent or new.
Neo.
Neo. A very small piece of something.
Particle.
Particle. Being difficult to deal with or fix.
Problematic.
Problematic. A law determining the fundamental political principles of a government.
Constitution.
Constitution. A book that is used to study.
Textbook.
Textbook. Before.
Preliminary.
Preliminary. Clearly, specifically.
Explicitly.
Explicitly. Quality of being believable or deserving of trust.
Credibility.
Credibility. By which, by that thing.
Whereby.
Whereby. A company, usually an airline, that carries things.
Carrier.
Carrier. To strengthen.
Reinforce.
Reinforce. Old story generally believed, although not proven.
Legend.
Legend. Below or beneath something under.
Underneath.
Underneath. A prefix meaning half.
Semi.
Semi. Basic, simple, or essential.
Elementary.
Elementary. Something that is easy to recognize or identify.
Marker.
Marker. Size or importance.
Magnitude.
Magnitude. The time of year to bring crops in from the fields.
Harvest.
Harvest. The development of a plan, system, or proposal.
Formulation.
Formulation. To strike something loudly or forcefully.
Bang.
Bang. A high body temperature.
Fever.
Fever. The study of human origins and the development of society.
Anthropology.
Anthropology. The study of ancient societies by looking at old tools, bones and buildings.
Archaeology.
Archaeology. Degree scores depart from the mean.
Variability.
Variability. Concerning money, often referring to a country's economic system.
Monetary.
Monetary. Based on observation or experiment.
Empirical.
Empirical. The home of a bird or spider.
Nest.
Nest. The study of human languages.
Linguistics.
Linguistics. A way for something to be released, a pipe, hole or wire through which gas, liquid or electricity flows.
Outlet.
Outlet. Plants.
Vegetation.
Vegetation. An animal with a long thin body and no arms or legs.
Snake.
Snake. A salt or compound used to help grown plants.
Phosphate.
Phosphate. Concerning numbers and equations.
Mathematical.
Mathematical. To determine the cause of something, for example an illness.
Diagnose.
Diagnose. Something that you must have or do.
Necessity.
Necessity. The study of the forms and structures of plants, animals and words.
Morphology.
Morphology. Morally right or wrong.
Ethical.
Ethical. Concerning the last little bit, after the rest has gone or ended.
Residual.
Residual. To put one thing on top of another, for example books.
Stack.
Stack. To put medicine into someone with a syringe.
Inject.
Inject. In part, in some degree, not wholly.
Partially.
Partially. Being able to speak two languages well.
Bilingual.
Bilingual. A device that joins things together.
Connector.
Connector. Being with other people.
Socially.
Socially. Graduate studying for a further degree.
Postgraduate.
Postgraduate. Money given to a student to pay for education.
Sponsorship.
Sponsorship. A willingness to let people do, say or believe what they wish, without judging or challenging them.
Tolerance.
Tolerance. Someone lower in rank.
Junior.
Junior. Unsupported.
Arbitrary.
Arbitrary. Concerned with the abdomen or stomach.
Abdominal.
Abdominal. To state again so that a point is clearer.
Clarify.
Clarify. A unit of weight equal to 907 kilograms.
Ton.
Ton. A description of the main features of something.
Overview.
Overview. An experienced or wise person who teaches or helps another person.
Mentor.
Mentor. An oxide containing 2 oxides per molecule.
Dioxide.
Dioxide. A prefix meaning against or opposed.
Anti.
Anti. A change to make something right.
Correction.
Correction. Widespread, common, general.
Prevalence.
Prevalence. A discussion between people to make a decision.
Consultation.
Consultation. To represent something or someone in a particular way, often for artistic purposes.
Portray.
Portray. To make something by crossing threads over and under each other.
Weave.
Weave. A toast used when raising your glass to drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. Not natural, made from artificial materials.
Synthetic.
Synthetic. A group of plants that grow on dead materials and have no flowers, for example mushrooms.
Fungus.
Fungus. In or through a group.
Amongst.
Amongst. An animal that feeds itself by killing and eating other animals.
Predator.
Predator. Being in full agreement, being joined together.
Unity.
Unity. To confuse and greatly surprise someone, so that they are unable to explain a situation.
Confound.
Confound. To sell to a person offering the highest price.
Auction.
Auction. The shape of the outside edge of something.
Contour.
Contour. A popular belief that is false or unsupported by fact.
Myth.
Myth. Being very tired.
Fatigue.
Fatigue. Not stated directly.
Implicit.
Implicit. To make someone suffer for bad behavior.
Punish.
Punish. Process of being absorbed.
Absorption.
Absorption. Able to be done, possible.
Viable.
Viable. To cause something to stop happening for a time.
Interrupt.
Interrupt. To describe someone or something.
Depict.
Depict. A metric unit of length equal to 1,000 meters.
Kilometer.
Kilometer. A substance important for human and animal health, particularly for making bones and teeth.
Calcium.
Calcium. A person with little or no experience in a particular activity, skill, or subject.
Novice.
Novice. Restricted to something.
Strictly.
Strictly. You'll find this surprising in an interesting way.
Interestingly.
Interestingly. Process or result of using mathematics.
Calculation.
Calculation. A type of mathematics used for calculating such things as the slopes of curves.
Calculus.
Calculus. A round shape.
Loop.
Loop. Able to adjust to new conditions.
Adaptive.
Adaptive. Changing from one form to another. For example, changing from one language to another.
Translation.
Translation. A meeting or series of meetings for discussion and exchange of information.
Conference.
Conference. The height of something above sea level.
Altitude.
Altitude. To be made or done with great care or with much detail.
Elaborate.
Elaborate. Increase in the speed or rate of something.
Acceleration.
Acceleration. To release someone or something.
Discharge.
Discharge. A long, narrow piece of metal or wood that is used to hold or support something.
Pole.
Pole. A small hard part of something smooth, soft, or continuous.
Lump.
Lump. A long, thin part of something which is a different color from the parts beside it.
Stripe.
Stripe. Made of more than one different part.
Composite.
Composite. The distribution of items set apart according to a plan or purpose.
Allocation.
Allocation. To make something easier to do, use or understand.
Simplify.
Simplify. A kind of stone metamorphosed limestone.
Marble.
Marble. To bring order and organization to something in maths. Any of the magnitudes that serve to define the position of a point or line by reference to a fixed figure or system of lines.
Coordinate.
Coordinate. Not messy, clean and orderly, simple and effective.
Neat.
Neat. A sink, a place in a bathroom to wash your face.
Basin.
Basin. Capable of continuing for a long time at the same level, does not damage the environment.
Sustainable.
Sustainable. A sum total amount of something.
Aggregate.
Aggregate. A nerve cell, the basic building block of the nervous system.
Neuron.
Neuron. To weaken or destroy something secretly and usually slowly.
Undermine.
Undermine. The state of being more powerful, successful, or important than others.
Dominance.
Dominance. A chemical produced by the body to control some function.
Hormone.
Hormone. Authority, rule, control.
Domination.
Domination. Not standard or normal in statistics. The difference between one of a set of values and some fixed value, usually the mean of the set.
Deviation.
Deviation. To be based on, started or created by.
Founds.
Founds. A change in genetics. Any event that changes genetic structure.
Mutation.
Mutation. Movement, from side to side at a steady speed, a frequent change in size, strength, or direction between two limits.
Oscillation.
Oscillation. To kill someone, usually as an official punishment.
Execute.
Execute. Looks or appears real, like things really are.
Realistic.
Realistic. The best or most desirable.
Optimum.
Optimum. When something is equal to something else.
Equivalence.
Equivalence. The act of calculating, method of computing.
Computation.
Computation. Forum used to get information from many people.
Questionnaire.
Questionnaire. Room in a school where lessons take place.
Classroom.
Classroom. The place a river divides before entering a larger body of water.
Delta.
Delta. The state of being a slave.
Slavery.
Slavery. A junior teacher in university.
Lecturer.
Lecturer. A medicine or treatment that makes an ill person become healthy.
Cure.
Cure. Smallest bit that matter can be broken down into.
Atom.
Atom. An object that can be used to hold things.
Container.
Container. The act of making a conscious choice.
Volition.
Volition. With respect to statistics.
Statistically.
Statistically. A way to put a drug or another substance into your body.
Injection.
Injection. Directions for making something.
Recipe.
Recipe. To go to a specified place, to jump.
Bound.
Bound. One of two symbols, used in writing.
Parenthesis.
parenthesis. Difficult to notice, understand, or see.
Subtle.
Subtle. Building something complex from simple parts.
Synthesis.
Synthesis. The bottom number in a fraction.
Denominator.
Denominator. A large bit of something thick lump.
Chunk.
Chunk. A group of signs and symptoms that accompany a disease.
Syndrome.
Syndrome. A prefix meaning very small, such as microchip.
Micro.
Micro. To move from place to another to live or work.
Migrate.
Migrate. An instrument that shows conditions in a machine, such as temperature, speed, pressure in chemistry. A compound that changes color in the presence of an acid or a base.
Indicator.
Indicator. A prefix meaning under or instead of.
Sub.
Sub. A group of things that are tied together.
Bundle.
Bundle. Killing a person as a punishment.
Execution.
Execution. Concerning evolution.
Evolutionary.
Evolutionary. The study of public speaking or writing techniques.
Rhetoric.
Rhetoric. An organ in the body that cleans the blood.
Kidney.
Kidney. The act of purposely killing yourself because you no longer wish to live.
Suicide.
Suicide. Changing to a new form thing that is changed.
Adaptation.
Adaptation. A doctor who performs surgery.
Surgeon.
Surgeon. Concerned with strategy well thought out.
Strategic.
Strategic. A person or group that gives gifts or money to help support an organization or cause.
Donor.
Donor. Characterized and distinguished by sex.
Sexuality.
Sexuality. A field of action, thought or influence, an area of knowledge.
Domain.
Domain. Using speech, rather than being written.
Verbal.
Verbal. Definite, clearly stated, specific.
Explicit.
Explicit. A thick string made by twisting many fibers together.
Rope.
Rope. A position in which a person must make difficult choices.
Dilemma.
Dilemma. By mouth.
Oral.
Oral. In a manner related to the body.
Physically.
Physically. In an efficient manner without using too much effort.
Economically.
Economically. An example of something, especially of a plant or an animal, a small amount of blood or urine.
Specimen.
Specimen. Capable of causing infection, by the spreading of a bacteria or virus to others.
Infectious.
Infectious. Different, opposite.
Contrary.
Contrary. Very light silvery white metal used to make cans.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. The act of making copies.
Replication.
Replication. A group of people or organizations being joined or associated.
Alliance.
Alliance. To make someone want something, even if it's bad.
Tempt.
Tempt. To come together.
Converge.
Converge. To move something back and forth along a surface.
Rub.
Rub. To become larger than normal, often because of injury.
Swell.
Swell. To go before.
Proceed.
Proceed. Laboratory, a place to do scientific experiments.
Lab.
Lab. A line going up/down, not horizontal.
Vertical.
Vertical. To focus your attention or efforts on something.
Orient.
Orient. A scientist who studies living things.
Biologist.
Biologist. Showing a lot of deep knowledge or thought.
Profound.
Profound. When different styles, ideas or designs combine to form something new in physics. When atoms combine to produce nuclear energy.
Fusion.
Fusion. To examine carefully for accuracy.
Audit.
Audit. To go round continuously.
Circulate.
Circulate. The treatment of diseases, such as cancer, using chemicals.
Chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy. Happening with complete certainty.
Inevitably.
Inevitably. The usual amount.
Par.
Par. Concerning the areas near the North or South Poles.
Polar.
Polar. Something that makes a change.
Stimulus.
Stimulus. An animal that is killed and eaten by another animal.
Prey.
Prey. A racial group united by language, religion and customs.
Tribe.
Tribe. The act of closing something.
Closure.
Closure. Having the same shape and size.
Congruent.
Congruent. Happening regularly, but not frequently.
Periodic.
Periodic. In the same way, in addition to.
Likewise.
Likewise. A position or opinion that is stated to the public.
Stance.
Stance. A chemical substance used to kill pests.
Pesticide.
Pesticide. Concerning or used in psychiatry.
Psychiatric.
Psychiatric. Coming together.
Convergence.
Convergence. A type of mathematics that provides specific information or proves something.
Statistics.
Statistics. The study of heat, light, and other forms of energy and how they affect objects.
Physics.
Physics. A 90-degree piece of metal used to support a wall shelf.
Bracket.
Bracket. A document, a piece of writing.
Manuscript.
Manuscript. A speech sound any letter in the alphabet that is not a vowel.
Consonant.
Consonant. The wavelengths of colors from red to violet.
Spectrum.
Spectrum. Believer in communism.
Communist.
Communist. To cause someone or something to behave in a particular way, or to enter into a particular condition.
Render.
Render. To not do, to jump.
Skip.
Skip. An agreement between nations.
Treaty.
Treaty. In a way that is serious or dangerous vitally.
Critically.
Critically. Notebook for recording appointments or things to do.
Planner.
Planner. To get involved, to prevent trouble.
Intervene.
Intervene. In a way involving only that person.
Individually.
Individually. Strong public disagreement about something.
Controversy.
Controversy. The force that makes things fall down towards the ground.
Gravity.
Gravity. An ancient period, something made a long time ago.
Antiquity.
Antiquity. Choosing through thoughtful comparison.
Selective.
Selective. Whatever one.
Whichever.
Whichever. Using or having to do with machines.
Mechanical.
Mechanical. Between.
Intermediate.
Intermediate. The science of farming.
Agriculture.
Agriculture. A round 3D object. For example, a ball.
Sphere.
Sphere. An intersection or junction point in the network, a part on a plant where a new leaf grows.
Node.
Node. A prefix meaning more than one.
Multi.
Multi. The teachers in a school or college.
Faculty.
Faculty. To make a quick hit with a closed hand.
Punch.
Punch. A copy, a method that is used to study and analyze the characteristics of the real world.
Simulation.
Simulation. Not likely to change, clearly decided.
Definite.
Definite. Ability to do something in a fully satisfactory way.
Competence.
Competence. Not involved, without strong feeling, without electrical charge, not acidic or alkaline.
Neutral.
Neutral. To state, strengthen or support a belief you have.
Affirm.
Affirm. The site of an institution, such as a university campus.
Campus.
Campus. A substance that has dissolved in a solvent and become part of the liquid, so that they form a solution.
Solute.
Solute. At risk of developing a certain illness or problem.
Susceptible.
Susceptible. An idea or belief about what someone or something is like, often unfair or untrue.
Stereotype.
Stereotype. The size of a wave, a shared understanding.
Wavelength.
Wavelength. To make a copy of something.
Reproduce.
Reproduce. To produce a liquid.
Secrete.
Secrete. A large, printed notice or picture.
Poster.
Poster. To arrange things into groups of similar items.
Classify.
Classify. That proves who a person is.
Identification.
Identification. Whatever person, any person at all,
Whoever.
Whoever. A shape or object with flat, circular ends and long, straight sides.
Cylinder.
Cylinder. Not clearly stated.
Vague.
Vague. An association and implication.
Connotation.
Connotation. The way someone or something is described.
Characterization.
Characterization. The lightest of all chemical elements, has no smell or color.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. A figure of speech based on analogy.
Metaphor.
Metaphor. A review of the quality of a work.
Critique.
Critique. A place for showing movies.
Cinema.
Cinema. Mathematics using letters and symbols in place of some numbers.
Algebra.
Algebra. Of the highest quality, great, marvelous.
Super.
Super. A mass of abnormal cells that develops when cancerous cells divide and grow uncontrollably.
Tumor.
Tumor. The degree of how well something works or is done.
Effectiveness.
Effectiveness. A long narrow opening, into which you put or fit something.
Slot.
Slot. An idea or notion, the first stage in pregnancy.
Conception.
Conception. An expert who studies the mind and behavior.
Psychologist.
Psychologist. Over a long time, serious.
Chronic.
A very severe or upsetting experience.
Trauma.
Trauma. A series of regular and repeated actions.
Cyclic.
Cyclic. A small set which is part of a larger set.
Subset.
Subset. A negatively charged particle.
Electron.
Electron. Concerning the development or growth.
Developmental.
Developmental. A characteristic.
Trait.
Trait. Happening after something else happened.
Afterward.
Afterward. An unwanted insect or small animal that eats plants or food supplies.
Pest.
Pest. The parts inside. A human body, animal body or a machine.
Gut.
Gut. A thin, thread-like part of an animal hair or plant tissue, an artificial thread body cells that form muscles and nerves of food substance.
Fiber.
Fiber. The act or process of removing or being removed.
Elimination.
Elimination. A bad act, to do something bad.
Sin.
Sin. A step-by-step problem-solving feature.
Algorithm.
Algorithm. Able to return to original shape or size after stretching.
Elastic.
Elastic. Accepting things as they are, not as you want.
Realism.
Realism. A place or location in genetics. The location of a gene on a chromosome.
Locus.
Locus. Not affected by something.
Resistant.
Resistant. A number multiplied by a variable in an algebraic expression.
Coefficient.
Coefficient. A fence made with small trees. Avoid or try to avoid fulfilling.
Hedge.
Hedge. Legally responsible for something.
Liable.
Liable. Concerning time.
Temporal.
Temporal. Something that is real.
Entity.
Entity. A drawing intended to explain how something works.
Diagram.
Diagram. To cause two or more things to become combined into one.
Merge.
Merge. The type of life that you have.
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Additional information at the end of a document.
Appendix.
Appendix. A statement that is accepted as true.
Axiom.
Axiom. Open container with a handle used to carry liquids.
Bucket.
Bucket. A highly developed society.
Civilization.
Civilization. Without end, limitless.
Infinity.
Infinity. A substance, situation, or environment in which something has its origin. In math, an arrangement of numbers in rows and columns.
Matrix.
Matrix. A person who is selected by others as a contestant for an office or honor.
Candidate.
Candidate. Concerning atoms.
Atomic.
Atomic. Extremely, by a large amount.
Enormously.
Enormously. A door that you go through to leave a place.
Exit.
Exit. To smell by short intakes of air.
Sniff.
Sniff. Sound just well-founded.
Valid.
Valid. Something that is said.
Utterance.
Utterance. A system or a piece of equipment that is used to get information in medicine. A long thin instrument used for looking inside your body.
Probe.
Probe. Concerning grammatical rules.
Grammatical.
Grammatical. The path followed by an object moving through space.
Trajectory.
Trajectory. To change a message or information into code.
Encode.
Encode. The spirit of love of your country, for example, leading to war.
Nationalism.
Nationalism. Person who designs and advises on buildings.
Architect.
Architect. A statement that can be proved.
Theorem.
Theorem. An electronic signal that has been sent by radio waves, a force that has been transferred from one machine to another.
Transmission.
Transmission. A duty that you are given to do.
Assignment.
Assignment. To show the relationship between two items or events.
Correlate.
Correlate. In spite of that, nevertheless.
Nonetheless.
Nonetheless. Doing things to achieve a specific goal.
Actively.
Actively. A line about which a rotating body, such as the Earth, turns.
Axis.
Axis. A significant change in something.
Revolutionary.
Revolutionary. Concerning surgery.
Surgical.
Surgical. How true something is in statistics. The ability of a test to measure what it is intended to measure.
Validity.
Validity. To move slowly.
Drift.
Drift. A chemical compound that is a mixture of chlorine and something else.
Chloride.
Chloride. About words.
Lexical.
Lexical. A striking effect or result to hit with force.
Impact.
Impact. Total amount extreme or unreasonable.
Gross.
Gross. A piece of paper with information, often given out before a presentation.
Handout.
Handout. A substance which a catalyst or enzyme has an effect on.
Substrate.
Substrate. The use of personal feelings and opinions, rather than facts.
Subjective.
Subjective. The way that something or someone is represented in a book, film, picture or other context.
Portrayal.
Portrayal. Movement in a circle around a central point.
Rotation.
Rotation. The act of refusing to consider or believe something.
Rejection.
Rejection. To give to as a form of correcting a loss.
Compensate.
Compensate. The variation in an environment, the number of different types of life found there.
Biodiversity.
Biodiversity. Being reasonable and possibly true.
Plausible.
Plausible. A problem, a fault.
Defect.
Defect. Teenager developing into an adult.
Adolescent.
Adolescent. The words that a person knows.
Vocabulary.
Vocabulary. To teach people to behave in a way which is acceptable in their culture, to spend time with people.
Socialize.
Socialize. Negative or harmful.
Adverse.
Adverse. A metal structure with bars that is used to cover a hole.
Grid.
Grid. In a pleasing way, in a polite way.
Nicely.
Nicely. Concerning the heart.
Coronary.
Coronary.